we need, yeah. Man, I got it, wow.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. Let's get ready to get it popping. There we go. D Jones, what's happening, bro? How you doing, sir?
What you say?
How you doing? Back.
We back, baby. We back. We did it.
Okay, I guess that means you're doing good. My man Jason Hayes, filmmaker Jason Hayes, how you doing, sir? How's everything?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. You know, you guys can't tell, but I'm burning incense, and I had to burn sage for this show today.
Hey, man. All that
You know what I mean?
Man. All that hatred.
I've been burning sage. I got to get rid of all that Patriot energy I'm about to endure.
All that hatred in your heart, man.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible, Jay. I promise you.
No, you're not. Stop lying.
I am. I'm gonna try. I said I'm gonna try. I didn't say I would do it. I just said I'm gonna try. There will be effort into this.
Man.
Normally Howie Bell's on the show with us and everything else, but he literally texted us right where the show was coming on that he ain't gonna be in here today. So we're gonna get the show starting right now. We're going to do a recap of our thoughts on first half and second half of the Patriots and Broncos, first half, second half of Seahawks and Rams, and then talk about a couple of other things in the news. So let's jump right into, let's do the AFC since AFC game came on first. Let's talk about D Jones. You up first. Let me put you in the spot. Right here you go. Let's talk about the Patriots and the Broncos recap first half. At the end of the first half, what were your thoughts? And at the end of the first half, how was your outlook on the game at the end of the first half? Not the end of the game, at the end of the first half.
First half. Well, I know a lot of people was mad at Sean Payton for not kicking 3 and going for the 4th, but I thought it was smart because 14 points would have won the game with that 14 points. So once we tied it up, I knew we were in control. We had the better quarterback. People been doubting the Patriots defense, or not even talking about it all season. And we hadn't turned the ball over in the first half. So I still was confident, a little nervous because Denver does have great defense and they was getting to Drake May. And you kind of seeing the rookie play of Campbell at that left tackle, but I still was confident that we will pull it off because we have great coaching. We got a dreamy guy quarterback named Drake May. And the first half turned out to be one of the greatest first halves of football I've ever seen.
Okay. What was your thought process at the end of the first half, Jay?
Stidham proved why the Patriots got up off his ass. That was my thought.
Okay.
Because the Patriots could not score.
Mm-hmm.
Like they couldn't move the ball against Denver until Stidham turned it over deep, in Patriot territory that led to the first touchdown of the game. Well, I'm sorry, second touchdown of the game, but I mean, first for the Patriots. So, and then like once the Patriots adjusted, and they realized that he really wasn't worth a damn, and that he really couldn't hurt him, then the whole scheme went out the window because they knew that dude couldn't beat him. So they just had to not beat themselves. And that's what the Patriots did not do. They did not beat themselves. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't bust assignments. They did what they're supposed to do to win that game. And Stidham and Sean Payton did the rest. Because in a game like that, it's the playoffs, man. You got to take the 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you want to overwhelm yourself, man, but it ain't shit sweet about the Patriots. Defense all in the playoffs all season long. So if you couldn't get it before, then you're not going to get it now. Take the 3 points. And then the weather came in. So the whole thing changed after that. So you got it. I mean, points are a premium in the playoffs, man. You got to take them.
Right. Let me ask you this. Actually, let me just say this. At the end of the first half, my thought process is this. At the end of the first half, I'm thankful that we scored because we were having a hard time moving the ball. Stidham looked better than I thought he would. I still think he sucks, but he looked better than I thought he would. I ain't gonna lie. When he hit that first 3 plays of the game, he hits the bomb, and next thing you know, they score out the gate. You know what I mean? I have a little concern myself. But then as the Patriots, forget about the fandom and everything else. The Patriots always seem to let a team score on them early on in the game, and they always seem to start to come back. So that, you know what I mean? Most of the time, there was 11 games, D, when the team took the ball and scored in the first drive, 11 games straight that happened to the Patriots. You know what I mean? So
well, I think they had a great opening script. We wasn't expecting Stidham to do that, even though y'all say he sucked. I think Bo Nix would have did the same thing he did.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I don't think him and Bo Nix that far apart. They ran Stidham just like they would run Bo Nix. They didn't really run the ball. We stopped them from really running with the running backs. But it was just, I think going forward on fourth down was not a bad thing. I think they knew it was going to be a bad snowstorm. We better get as many points as we can now before the second half. They had to know what the weather was going to be like. So I'm glad they didn't make it, but I thought it was a good call to go for it. But yet and still, this turned out to be one of the greatest playoff games we've ever witnessed.
Let me just say this. Let me interrupt.
Ever.
Let me say this. Interrupt you on one thing. The play call itself, I thought, was a pretty good call. It was the execution of the play was what I think the problem was, because Stidham overthrew the ball too far to the right-hand side and it almost got picked off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Bo Nix does that play, they probably get the fourth down. You know what I mean? Because Bo Nix ain't that far off and he's a lot more accurate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I will also say this: I think, Sean Payton realized early on, because he knew the Patriots defense, that they really had a chance against their defense, and he wanted to take it because he was like, you know what, we can still move the ball on these dudes. That's what I think his thought process was. You agree or disagree?
No, I agree with that. You know what else was surprising to me, and this ain't had nothing to do with the play of the game. Why was they showing Stidham's wife in the in the booth with her white mink on? It was like two women up there minked out. I'm like, this ain't Taylor Swift or Cardi B. Why they keep showing her? But that's besides the point. Hey, I thought the first half was competitive. I thought it was a good first half, and if you were a fan of either team, you had to be nervous.
Okay, so let me ask Jay: did you think the play or the execution of the play? Everybody's talking about that play. Obviously, the Sean Payton goes for it, and then I saw on NFL Live today. Actually, I had it on the background. NFL Live was saying, and they said it several times, Jay, that it was all a bad call. It was all bad script. It was all bad all the way around. But I just, are you leaning? You hear what I'm saying, Jay? Do you think more it was the execution of the play, or do you still think that Sean Payton, or do you think Sean Payton should not have called that play? What you thought? Let's talk about that play, the fourth and one. What's your thoughts on that fourth and one, Jay?
If you ask my wife, man, she'll tell you that after every game, I immediately turn the TV off because I don't need anybody to tell me or explain to me what I just watched for myself.
Right.
I don't need your take. I just watched the game. I know what happens. I can decide for myself what I just saw. It was a terrible call. It was a terrible call because I mean, you and D just explained it. Well, if Bo Nix was in there, he would have done whatever. Well, Bo Nix wasn't in there. Right. You had your backup quarterback, and you got to take every point you can get with a backup quarterback because he's your backup for a reason. So if he got you that deep, say, you know what? This is as far as he can take me. We're going to take these 3 points. We're going to make it interesting and move forward with that. To me, it was horrendous. And it's squarely on Sean Payton because he's the play caller too.
Right.
He's the head coach and he calls the plays. Now, RJ Harvey, even though, like over the course of the game, he averaged, like almost 3 yards a carry, he was popping the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? So why not give it to the running back in a situation if you're going to do it at all? You know what I'm saying? Plus, he can receive out of the backfield. Dial up something like that if you're going 4th and 1, not requiring Stidham to fit a ball into the corner of the end zone off the move. We already know he can't do that. That's why he's in Denver, because the Patriots knew that already. Mm-hmm. So they made him have to run a play that they knew he couldn't run. And Sean Payton, being the arrogant asshole that he is, said, I'm going to show you. And that's what happened. So he deserved it.
Okay, let's do the recap now of the second half. The weather starts to come down. The weather starts to get mad. It
got bad.
It got bad really, really quickly. What I was surprised for is that it seemed like that all cream rose to the top. You know what I'm saying, D? And I say cream, like your strength and your weaknesses rose to the top rather quickly because we had two missed field goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you saw, it's more now mano v mano. You know what I mean? What's your take on this, D Jones? What was your take on the second half once the weather got really, really bad?
The second half was a masterclass by the greatest quarterback named Drake. He ran the ball, and I kept saying, "Get down, get down, get down." And I was just thankful he didn't throw the ball over. The flea flicker call was right on time. I wish we would have scored off of that, but that was a great pass, a great call at the time, and kind of brave to call a flea flicker in those conditions. We ran the ball just enough. The weather really affected the game, and the defense came through. We got an interception to end the game, and then that run Drake did to seal the win was everything, man. That was an amazing run to win the game, and I was just thankful we didn't turn the ball over. And again, this is going to go down as the greatest playoff game of all time.
I don't know about that one, but okay. Jay, what was your thought process literally of the second half? Because the weather comes in, it wrecks the game for both sides. You start to see your tails, you know what I mean? Your tails, like what you're good in, what you're not good in, everything else. What was your thought process, your takeaway from the second half of this game?
Like, as poor as the decision was, that Sean Payton made, by not taking the points and some other play calls that he made, I felt like Vance Joseph was equally derelict in duty by not accounting for Drake's legs. Like, Drake is athletic, man. He's shown you all season that he's athletic. And for them to rush the quarterback in such a way that kept leaving that back door opening for Drake to take it as if he was Tom Brady back there was absolutely asinine. It was a dereliction of duty because Drake broke off like 4 or 5 runs that led to first downs. I'm like, how many times did this dude run before you put a spy on him?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, Surtain had Diggs on ice. Mm-hmm. Like, Diggs was a man. Surtain just took him out the game entirely. So I don't understand why you not shading coverage to make sure Drake stays in the pocket or rush him differently when you ain't really got to worry about Diggs and the other receivers aren't that good anyway. So I don't understand, the play call on the defensive side of the ball either.
Okay, so now the games ended. After the game, there were some things that was both said on both sides and everything else. How did the Broncos move forward? What did they do this offseason to help them get better? And what's your thought process on just the overall everything about this coming out from the Broncos side? Because a lot of stuff came out on social media. A lot of things were said. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that and how they can get better? And what you think how good of a job do you think Sean Payton did as a coach, for the year? Because they are the number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed.
All right, what they lose 3 games this season?
Yep, that was 3 games.
He did a phenomenal job. That defense, whoever the defensive coach is, he should be considered for some of these head coaching jobs. That defense,
Joseph, yeah.
The defense is what kept this team afloat because they don't really have a dominant offense. Bo Nick's not that guy. They don't have no number 1 receiver that you will be like, man, I want that guy. The rushing's okay. That offensive line and that defense is phenomenal. And Sean Payton do call great calls for the team he got. You know what I'm saying? So they probably just need a receiver or 2. I like Ingram as a tight end, but they might still win that division next year. They might take it over from Kansas City. So they're in the right direction. They just follow what the Patriots doing, and follow our lead, how we rebuild,
Yeah, Kansas City gonna be back next year, bro. They hired a draft pick. They're gonna be back next year. Okay, so Jay, first of all, what does Denver do? Their thought processes as they move forward. How do they rebuild, and what do you think their thought process is on how well their season went? Just overall, because there's a couple of holes that I think they have. Personally, I think they need to get a number 1 wide receiver. And I think that, their defense was so stellar. I don't think they need to touch their defense, but I think they get number one wide receiver. And if they get a stellar tight end, I think they'll be all right, for next season. But that's my opinion. What's your opinion on what Denver should do moving forward for next season?
I mean, to piggyback what D. Jones said, man, first off, they won. I mean, they were number one seed in the AFC.
Right.
And they won a playoff game on top of that.
Right.
So they were a different team because their starting quarterback broke his ankle in the previous game.
Right.
So I don't think there's a whole lot that they need to do in terms of personnel and all that stuff. Now, I got to be fair to Stidham. His receivers dropped a lot of catchable balls.
Yep.
I mean, like he was hitting them boys in the hands, man, and that and that ball was living on the ground. So, you know what I'm saying? So I got to be fair to him. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this, Jay. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me say this. They had the most drops out of the entire NFL. Their wide receivers did.
All season long?
All season.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Sorry. So keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that's important.
Yeah.
So what I know is that I saw them dropping a lot. I mean, Cortland Sutton, man. I mean, he's supposed to be like that dude. And dude, I mean, I saw him drop 3 legitimate catches where his team needed him to convert first downs.
Right.
On the grass. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of the overall, what they need to do, Sean Payton needs to take a piece of humble pie. Because I think his arrogance got them beat against the Patriots. Because, listen, I would bet money that the Patriots studied Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville and how they beat Denver in Denver. Because for what I saw, it was the same game plan. Mm-hmm. Trevor ran wild on Denver. Every time they rushed a certain way, Trevor broke out. You know what I'm saying? He was running. And listen, Trevor's athletic, but I don't think, that Trevor is as athletic as Drake May is. So to not take Drake's legs into account, to not game plan for that, to not take points, when it's 4th down and you got guaranteed points to back up, that's hubris, man. I mean, that's just arrogance, thinking I'm smarter than everybody else.
All right. Okay. So
thank you, Jax, for the blueprint of how to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was the same game plan.
Thank you.
So now D, the Patriots made it to the Super Bowl. We're gonna come back to this because the Patriots made it to the Super Bowl by obviously beating Denver. Now let's talk about the NFC. The NFC game was the Seahawks and the Rams. And this game was a lot more exciting, a lot more things that was happening and everything else. I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw this out there and say, I ain't going to lie. While I was watching the game, the Rams made more mistakes, but I still thought the Rams were going to pull this out. I had a feeling the Rams were going to pull this out. Ultimately, around third quarter, I started to get the feeling. The feeling started going the other way. That's my thought process. But I will say this. I thought there's one caveat out there. Sam Darnold didn't look like the Sam Darnold I know.
No, sir.
He didn't look like the same guy I've seen. He didn't look like the same QB. Matter of fact, he looked better. He looked so much better than the QB who took Minnesota to 14-2, 14-3 last year. He looked better than even that QB. He didn't look like the same Sam Darnold we saw just in the first half. So that was my take in the first half. D, talk to me. Tell me about what your take was after the first half. Seahawks took control of the whole game from the jump. But what was your take?
Well, you say it was more exciting. Whatever. If that's what you think. If you like high scoring and all that stuff and a bunch of stuff.
Exciting football. Yeah.
If you like that, then sure.
No, I'm still excited as the Patriots fan, but because I didn't have a thing in that, I didn't have a horse in that race. I sat down and actually enjoyed that game. You know what I mean? Instead of being
it would damn near put me to sleep. It was what's another word for exciting? It was pretty good. And I knew it was gonna come down to the wire. They've been playing this is their third time playing each other this season, so they know each other pretty well. I was surprised that the defense couldn't stop either or the Rams couldn't stop the Seahawks. The Seahawks couldn't stop the Rams, but both teams have great players, great receivers, great running backs, great tight ends. And I knew it was going to come down to the wire. First half was pretty good. Not as good as Drake May and them, but it was pretty good first half. and I was just anxious to see who was gonna mess up first because Darnold will see ghosts and Matthew Stafford will throw an interception. So it was really just to see who was gonna be the first one to really make a major mistake.
Okay, so that was your take after the first half.
Yeah.
Jay, give me your take after the first half. What was you thinking by halftime? What was your thought process at? And were you comfortable with the Rams? And I'm saying the Rams purposely because the Rams seemed like they were coming from behind damn near the whole game. You know what I mean? What was your take, your thought process?
I mean, to me, Seattle just like the better team. For the complete game to me, like they was just like no matter what the Rams did, you felt like they're gonna be able to counter it.
Mhm.
You know, and I just got 3 words, for Seattle: Jackson, Smith, and Jigba.
Right.
He was unguardable, and the boy catches everything.
We got something for him.
He catches everything. Like Donald was just throwing it. I mean, he doing one-handed catches. You know what I'm saying? Running out of bounds. I mean, but also Kenneth Walker III was no joke in that game either. He ran hard. That O-line is physical. That D-line is physical. They are a physical team. And the Rams are physical too. But I just felt like Darnold, for all Stafford did yesterday, Darnold was still the better quarterback. Smith and Jigma was the best wide receiver on the field. And Kenneth Walker was the best running back on the field. And I think that's what happened in the game.
Okay. So D Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Second half starts, it gets underway and everything else. There's muff punts, there's all kind of mistakes.
Yep. Oh my God.
There's one thing I noticed, and I don't know if either one of you all knows when you watch the game. There's one thing I noticed, and it stuck out to me very, very, very prominent. It seemed like Sean McVay did not change the game plan from game 2. It seemed like he said, we're going to do the same thing we did game 2, and we're going to come in here and try to do the same thing game 3, except now we got Devontae. You know what I mean? It seemed like, they thought, okay, well, Devontae's here now, and because we were winning game 2, we're going to come back and we should be able to do that. Meanwhile, Seattle did the complete opposite. You know what I mean? Seattle played them like they hadn't played them before. They changed their game plan. That was my take. What was your take after the second half? Obviously, they win the game, and they looked like the much better team. Midway through the fourth quarter, I didn't think the Rams was coming back. My whole thought process changed. I was like, okay, the Rams are definitely going to lose this game. That's the way I was thinking midway through the fourth quarter. What was your take, D?
It turned out to be an old-fashioned shootout. You got Matthew Stafford, who's a real gunslinger. You got Sam who can throw it, and like Jay said, they got Jackson Smith and Jigba. And like I said, for the first half, it's gonna come down to that fourth quarter. See who gonna finish it. And Matthew Stafford was driving, man. They still had a chance to win this game.
But they kept making mistakes,
They kept making mistakes. And I said, who's going to be the first one to make that major mistake? And they kept making mistakes. And they let it open for Sam Darnold. And I just didn't see a ginger making it to the Super Bowl, but that's what we got. We got a ginger in the Super Bowl.
A ginger. Okay. Jay, talk to me about what your thought process was at the end of the game. Now the second half plays out. Seattle looks like they're dominant. You know what I mean? And of course, the Rams, they kept coming back a little bit and everything else. But I don't think you was concerned because I know I wasn't concerned. I just give me a thought process on the end of this game. What was you thinking about Seattle and the Rams?
The difference in the game for real was that muff punt.
Yep.
Because that was the first stop that the defense got on Seattle. They forced the punt, and it was absolutely inexcusable to do what he did.
Yeah.
Because the rules of special teams are plant your feet at the 10-yard line. If it's sailing over your head, get out the way. So instead, he drifts back to about the 8, and he misjudges it, and instead of just getting out the way and letting it go, he tries to field it while he's sitting on his ass trying to make a catch. And when he did that, once Seattle, because the crowd was kind of out of the game a little bit after that. They were a little bit disappointed that the Rams stopped them. And then when they got that ball and scored, they ain't looked back, since that play. And McVay took him out the game. Like, I feel bad for that kid, that happened to him. Like, his family was like, oh, my God, he's in there. But he's the dude that's going to go down as one of the primary reasons why they are not in the Super Bowl right now.
Actually, he is. He's going down as the reason why they didn't make the Super Bowl. That mistake cost him, changed the whole tide of the game. D.
And
Jones.
like the Patriots, Seattle didn't beat itself.
Right. D. Jones, what do the Rams have to do now moving forward? What things you think they should do? Because now their season's over. We're going to talk about the Seattle now, moved on to the Super Bowl. What do the Rams have to do, and what will they do? And what's your thought process on Matthew Stafford returning to the Rams?
They're not getting no younger. Adams and Stafford combined have got to be 300 years old. They still got McVay. Defense is good. Puka Nacua might be the best receiver in football, but they're going to have to look for another option at quarterback because I don't know if he's got this in him one more year, man. We didn't think he was going to play this season because his back was messed up. He could have been playing chicken and was fine and just didn't want to come to practice. But they getting old, man. And it's almost time to reset. McVay's still one of the best coaches in the game. It's really hard to say what they got to do because they were so good. But they're also in a tough division. So they got to figure out things to do to win the division, like to beat the teams in that division, to beat the Seahawks, to beat the 49ers. They need to figure out what that's going to take so they can be at home next time.
Okay. Jay, I will say this before I even ask you the question. The Rams are one of the best teams when it comes to drafting. There's no doubt about it. The Rams find diamonds in the rough all the time. I think the Puka Nacua thing, the cup thing, like they find players and they either find players and they make them better, or maybe they find players that are good and everybody else overlooks. I don't know. But what do you think the Rams do? Besides the obvious, what do you think the Rams do as they get ready for the next upcoming season? And do you think Matthew Stafford's coming back?
I mean, well, they need a quarterback, but I don't think that there's any quarterback in this draft that's worth a damn, to be honest. You know what I mean? So I think they just need to focus on getting better adding depth for sure, to the linebacker position, things like that. But what they need for sure, and it was shown, in the game yesterday, they need DBs, like for real DBs, because it wasn't just Smith and Jigba who was getting off. The tight end was getting off. The other receiver was getting off. So that means that if your rush doesn't sack the quarterback, that now mind you, that rush gets there fast. I mean, like way faster than the average defense gets there, and they can't hold up for that long. You know what I mean? So I think that they got to go find some corners. They definitely got to go find, at least a free safety with some range, get sideline to sideline, take a lot of those plays out of, like that one completion to Smith and Jigba over the middle of the field. Yeah. Like, bro, I mean, that was like a 35-yard completion with two DBs was back there and nobody made the play.
And it was the same play that they ran game before previously, identical. They just didn't stop it, Jay. They didn't stop it. It was sad.
It's just not good enough, man. They got to get better on that back end, man. I mean, it's obvious to anybody watching them play.
Yeah, I wholeheartily agree with that.
Yeah, look at the Bears game.
yeah, that too.
You know what? D, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, case in point.
Yeah, 100%. All right, now let's talk about the Super Bowl matchup, because now the Seahawks moved on, the Patriots moved on, the Super Bowl. I heard the Patriots are between 4.5 to 5.5 underdogs in this game. D, do you think the Patriots match well with the Seahawks, or would you have rather had the Patriots play the Rams? What's your thought process in the Super Bowl matchup? And I know you already like the Patriots as a Super Bowl favorite, but tell everybody else more in depth on why you think the Patriots match up or don't match up, or anything else you could add besides your Patriots fandom.
No, honestly, I think they do match up well with those receivers, because our secondary is tough. I think we got one of the best secondaries in the league. Gonzo, and people don't give Marcus Jones credit. He is a phenomenal DB. Then you got Carlton Davis back there. Our pass rush since they got healthy, man, our defense don't even look like they did in the regular season. It's on a whole nother level. The athleticism by Drake May, they need to account for. And I want to see Henderson get the ball more than Stevenson. I think we don't give him the ball enough. So hopefully Josh will utilize him. I think Diggs might have a great game because he ain't got that many years left in the in the league. And our receivers are pretty good, man. And we got 2 reliable tight ends. And I still don't trust Sam Darnold. So I feel like we got a good chance. I like being the underdog. Keep us the underdog. Jay can keep hating on us, but we made it here. So we might as well go ahead and finish the game, man. We're going to see what Seattle all about.
I'm going to tell you all my thoughts in a second. Let Jay go first. Jay, talk to me, man. What you think about the matchup? Do you like the matchup? Who do you like? I know you're going to take the Seahawks because you hate the Patriots. I already got that. Tell me why tell me why you think the Seahawks, who's favored by 4.5 to 5.5, points. Tell me why you think the Seahawks can win the game.
I think that's a fair thing. I mean, one, they're a West Coast team. They're playing in a stadium that they play in every year against the 49ers. So there's going to be like a certain level of familiarity with that. Two, I think Sam Darnold on a mission to, to shut up everybody. Like people forget when Sam Darnold was coming out of USC, how highly rated and how highly touted he was in terms of the physicals and all that stuff. But see, the Jets years put an image of Sam Darnold that I don't think is accurate of like what he really is in terms of talent in the hands of a right coach with real talent around him. So I like the Patriots defensive line. I think it's pretty much a wash because Seattle's offensive line is really physical, but I think the Patriots defensive line is physical enough to still cause them problems, especially in the run game. But I don't like the Patriots offensive line against Seattle's defensive line. And I think that might be the difference in the game because I think them boys are gonna get off on that rookie over there. They're gonna put big Leonard Williams over there and let him feast on that rookie, and we're gonna see what happens, moving forward. And I don't think that their DC is not gonna account for Drake running. So Drake is gonna have to beat them from the pocket. The wide receivers are gonna have to get open, and they're gonna have to beat the pass rush with everything they do. But Josh McDaniels is a really good OC. He's a shitty head coach, but he's a damn good OC.
I would say this. I give you my thought process. Let me put myself there. My thought process is simple. I think Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks haven't played a defense like this. I think so. I think our defense and our corners and everything else. Just
the Rams and 49ers are worse defense than the Patriots?
Bro, I'm telling you, the defense of the Patriots.
We're not giving up that many points.
They played Jacksonville defense this year too, right?
The statistics that came out, literally, I saw it after the game last night. I'm just tell you the statistics. The Patriots defense is compared to the 2001 Baltimore Ravens at a year, and it's that's what the Patriots defense has done statistically and factual. It's better than any other defense that played out this year, and we still ain't getting no credit, but that's fine.
There's a reason for that. They played all 3 games in shitty weather. All 3 games, the offense was limited by the weather.
Okay. All right.
There ain't gonna be no snow in this game.
I think the advantage.
I wasn't even including the playoffs, and the stats didn't include the playoffs. The stats did for the year. The stats didn't include.
Well, I mean, you're playing a terrible division, Frank.
Bro, I'm just telling you what the stats say.
You played the Jets twice.
I'm not, and we played the Dolphins twice.
And the Dolphins twice.
And we played the Bills twice. And we played Buffalo in Buffalo. We beat them. We beat Miami in Miami, which we hadn't done. We beat Denver in Denver. I mean, we the Patriots did some stuff, but
it's blasphemous to say that team is comparable, to that Baltimore Ravens defense, man. Hey, whoever said that, find a mirror and slap the shit out of what you see.
I think the weather is an advantage for us. If you give Drake May some time, he can throw that ball.
But see, here's the crazy thing about it: the weather is going to be fine. And I think since the weather's going to be fine, we're going to see the real Drake May. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing we need to talk about. We're going to see the real Drake May that we haven't seen in a long time. Now, anyway, my point I was trying to make is that I think Sam Darnold's going to see a real defense, even though he has seen some good defenses. And when he did, he did see some good defenses. Sam Darnold did see some good defenses, and he only lost 3 games all year. I think he still hasn't seen a defense like ours. That's all I'm going to say.
Understand this, Frank. You know what? I got it in front of me. They played San Francisco twice. They played Pittsburgh. They played Jacksonville at Jacksonville. They played the Houston Texans. Then they played They played the Vikings. They played the Falcons. They played the Colts. And they played the Rams twice. What you talking about? They ain't seen no defense like that. He played the best defenses in the league, statistically speaking.
Okay. I'm still going to stick with that. I think our defense is better than all those defenses.
Ain't no goddamn way, Frank. Stop.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
How many points they put on the Rams defense? The Rams defense ain't that great.
They put 31.
The Rams defense ain't even in the top 10. So
they put 31. Yep. I mean, but listen, you've seen the Rams play. You know that's a good defense.
The 49ers defense ain't that this season.
They put 26 on the Vikings. They put 37 on the Falcons.
Where are these defenses rated in from top? Any of them in the top 10?
Top 5. Jacksonville's a top 5 defense.
That's one.
They scored 20. Texans are a top 5 defense. They scored 27.
Okay. This is why I love why they play the game, because you got to play the game, because at the end of the day, they still ain't seen a defense like what the Patriots done, and the Patriots are known, and people, every game has been said, they're disguising their defense, they're disguising their team so well that people haven't even seen some of the disguises that they've put up there. So I'm loving what I'm saying. Excuse me. Anyway, let me get back to my thought process. My thought process is taking my fandom out of it, because I always, Steve would tell you, a couple other people tell you I take my fandom out of it. I think the Patriots are going to go in there and probably face one of the best teams they faced, but the Patriots do have a chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks. I will say that. So with that being said, D, tell me who you got and why, and then we're gonna move on to these stories, move on to the other stories. I know you got the Patriots. Tell me why.
24, Seattle, 27, New England. We got 2 weeks to game plan. We're not in a crazy element. I think Drake May's gonna have a good game as long as he doesn't turn the ball over. I see Diggs getting about 5 catches, 60 yards. I see both our running backs getting 50 apiece. And I see at least 2 turnovers by Sam Darnold, because people don't account for our secondary. They don't account for our defense. We on a mission as well. And the real Sam Darnold's going to show his face. I'm not. I don't care what's going on. Sam Darnold still Sam Darnold, okay? He didn't got better. He got there. But it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good Super Bowl. Probably one of the best. And people's like, it's going to be a whatever Super Bowl. It's going to be good because these two evenly good teams. And it's going to break Jay's heart. And I'll probably bottle his tears and drink it on this show.
Okay. Jay, tell me why you got the Seahawks, and tell me how they win. And then we're going to move on.
I got the Seahawks because their defense gave up 20 or more points 5 times, including the playoffs all season long.
Okay.
5 times out of 19 games, right? And now giving up that, like giving up 20 points only 5 times all season long, they scored 20 or more like 14 times.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna score points.
Yep.
So I don't think that the Patriots, listen, that was a Gonzalez kid, out of Oregon that y'all got, legit. But I don't think nobody else in the secondary scares anybody. So if Kenneth Walker stays on schedule with the running, and y'all just can't pin your ears back, and rush Sam Darnold, it's gonna be a long day, man. Because unless Gonzalez travels, within Jigba, and it won't matter because they'll put him in the slot, they'll put him outside, they'll put him all kind of places, and that tight end gonna be eaten too. I think Seattle's just they've been the best team all season long. Like there's no discussing it. They've been the best team all season long. And I just think when it comes to the Super Bowl, the best team wins. And they're the best team.
All right. Let me move on. Hold on. I put up something and I can't take it off. Okay, there we go. My banners. All right, it's time now to move on. And I wanted to see what Jay's face is going to say when I pulled this up, but I'll get to it in just a second. D. Jones, the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator Grant Udinski pulls his name from the Cleveland Browns, right? He pulled his name out of Cleveland Browns, but he's leaving his name in for the Buffalo Bills because Phillip Rivers pulled his name out of being a Buffalo Bills head coaching job position. So it looked like this guy is going to probably
He's going, bro.
There's probably a good chance he's gone.
He's
Probably
gone.
a good chance. Let's just first say the first news. The first news item is Phillip Rivers pulls his name out of contention. Why would he do that? I think he pulls his name out of contention because he probably has a great idea that he's not going to get the job. Let's say that. And also, the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator looked like he's going for his second interview. So usually when you're going for your second interview, you know what happens with that, D. What's your take on this, D?
Well, I pray that he leaves Jacksonville just so to put a little salt on Jay. And I also pray that it doesn't work in Buffalo because I don't want him to do good in Buffalo. And I don't want him to improve Josh Allen the way he did Trevor Lawrence. Which this is going to take a step back for Trevor Lawrence, and that's a really good thing. They should go back and get Urban Meyer.
Hell no. We got a shoot on sight order for Urban Meyer, bro.
Bro,
Hey, when he crosses the Duval County, shoot the shit out of him.
That's how I feel about Van Gundy when he was at the Pistons game the other day. Get his ass up out of here.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22. It can be good, it can be bad. Hopefully it turn off both bad. That's my hopes and prayers.
Okay. Jay, I got this story because I knew you was gonna feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
I saw it. Let's say, just be honest. Phillip Rivers pulling out the Buffalo Bills coaching search, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars know that this guy is going for a second interview, and then he pulls his name out of contention for the Cleveland Browns. What's that tell you, Jay?
Let's keep it a buck, man. We all knew that Phillip, the baby batter machine, was never gonna get that job. Right? He was never. I mean, it was absurd that he was even being interviewed for it in the first place, right? So he never had any legit chance at landing that job. Now, in terms of the dude staying, I have to assume that he's getting a job because you guys remember Mike McDaniel, even though he was hired by the Chargers, went an interview with Buffalo. Well, now it's official. Mike McDaniel is going to be the Chargers OC.
Right.
So that tells us that Mike McDaniel's out of the running, and this dude's going back. He's going to be the new head coach in Buffalo. I mean, that's just what the tea leaves are saying. Now, having said that, the real OC for Jacksonville is Liam Cohen. Like, Liam Cohen calls all the plays. You know what I'm saying? Now, this dude was the OC, running, the offense, so Liam can do the other head coach duty type things. So while it's a loss, and I hope that they can bring somebody else that works continuity-wise with Liam, we didn't lose our OC for real, because our OC is Liam Cohen.
Great thought process. Can't not knock that what you said. At the end of the day, here's the facts. Brian Dable's going up for an interview. Josh Allen is sitting there, and he's in discussions with the ownership of where they at and everything else. But I do think the Jacksonville OC is going to get the job because usually when a coach gets his second interview and he comes in gets his second interview, chances are, like you said, on the tea, it's written all over the tea leaves, like you said, Jay. That's where we are. I'm looking at the time. I want to move on to the NBA real fast. D.
Yeah.
Has Giannis played his last game in the Bucks uniform? There's a couple of sports writers saying when Giannis got hurt the other day, that was his last game. Has Giannis played his last game in the Bucks uniform? Do you think he'd be traded by the February 5th trade deadline?
Gotta be.
Yeah, it's probably time up. Milwaukee need to reset. Giannis need to get out of there. He gave him enough of his career. He brought him a championship, which nobody else would have done ever, except for him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the second greatest basketball player of all time. And it's just time.
LeBron, yeah.
I like he does that.
It's time for him to get out of there, man. And let's hope he doesn't go to San Antonio, the Knicks, or the Celtics. That's all or Miami.
Okay, so but the injury looks serious. You know what I mean? The injury looks serious to me, Jay. Jay, do you think Giannis played his last game? He's supposed to be injured for the next 3 weeks. The trade deadline's in a week and a half. You think he played his last game in the Bucks uniform, Jay?
Hey, man, I think Giannis out of there like a fart in a hurricane, brother. I think he's gone, right? Like, And honestly, I question how hurt he really is, to be honest. Because I'm sure if it mattered, he could battle back, in like half the time that they're saying. But you don't want him to get more damage, if you're trying to trade him. So he still has trade value. D Jones, I'm on the ESPN site. The team that has the most pieces and for the trade to be the easiest to get Giannis?
Is it Miami?
It is not.
Who is it?
It is those boys from the Motor City.
Yeah.
They're saying it's a 2 out of 10 in terms of difficulty for the Pistons to trade for Giannis. The question is, will they do it? Like they put the top 10 teams, it's the usual suspects. What's that now?
Who's the first team?
No, you guys have the best chance, with the least difficulty, right? I run through it for you. The Atlanta Hawks, deal difficulty, 7 out of 10. Pistons, deal difficulty, 2 out of 10. Houston Rockets, 7 out of 10. Miami Heat, 7 out of 10. Minnesota, 8 out of 10. The Knicks, 8 out of 10. Oklahoma City Thunder, 7 out of 10. Portland Trail Blazers, 4 out of 10. So it's between the Pistons and the Portland Trail Blazers who can easily trade for him.
Go to Portland, man.
I got to see that list. I question that because OKC has so much trades, so much.
It's picks. I mean, listen, people ain't willing to give up generational players for picks.
Right.
You got to get something in exchange for that.
Right.
If all we giving up is picks, I'm down.
Right. Which is why it's hard. I mean, which is why you guys can make the trade because y'all got a lot of good players.
Detroit got a lot of picks too. So
they can have all the picks. I want to keep our. They can have Ivy and a few picks, and I'll be okay with that.
D, let me just say this for the record, D. Y'all need some scoring.
Listen. If we get Giannis, we going to the finals.
Yeah, and probably win.
And fellas, in the last two, San Antonio is a 6 out of 10, and the Toronto Raptors is a 3 out of 10.
He ain't going to Toronto.
He ain't going to Toronto.
No, he ain't going to Toronto. All right, so D, this brings me up to my next question, man. Because the Indiana Pacers the other night, I don't know if you saw this, the Indiana Pacers ended up having one of the biggest upsets, I almost want to say, in almost NBA history. Because
OKC, right?
Yeah, they ended up defeating OKC, which I couldn't wait to have the show today because I'm like saying to myself, what the hell's wrong with OKC? Why is OKC so good in one night and so bad on another night? What's wrong with OKC? That whole thought process of them getting ready to break the NBA record of the most wins in the season is gone. Like that's out the window. Do you think there's an issue going on with OKC that we don't know as fans, and there's something more going on in the locker room? D, what's your take on what's wrong with OKC?
No, they still ain't even lost 10 games yet. I don't think.
I think they had 9.
Yeah, they still under 10 losses. I think that loss in the power rankings put Detroit number 1, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
But no, OKC still the beast in the West. They still the team to beat. I still got them going to the finals. We haven't seen Joker in a while. I don't trust Minnesota. The Lakers don't play a lick of defense. I don't trust Houston Rockets that much. Well, maybe, but I'm still going with OKC.
You know what, D? I gotta say, for the record, I don't see it. I don't see them going to the finals. I did.
Who you see beating them?
Either Houston or San Antonio. I just because they're
they can't beat the Spurs.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. San Antonio.
They gotta hope somebody take the Spurs out early.
Yeah, they better hope because San Antonio can knock them out. So Jay, let me ask you, what do you think is wrong with OKC? Do you think there's a problem going on internally that we're not knowing? Because I read something, I don't even know where it was. There was what I read. There was a couple of teams that were having some kind of issues, and nobody knew about this at all because it didn't come to light. Like we didn't know outside of the scope. You think this is one of those type of things? Whereas, the team has some, turmoil going on, and it's disrupted the team, or are all the teams coming at them because they the NBA champs and like, yo, we giving you our best because you the best. You know what I mean? What's your take, Jay?
It's more that latter thing that you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things that we always harp on, and point out about OKC is how young they are. Right. Well, that's a double-edged sword because they're so young. They don't understand, like this is new territory for them, like being on the top of the hill and they getting every team's best shot, and you got to figure out how to be motivated every night, to still win, no matter what. So, but a part of it, I also feel like it's also a good thing in that they're not pressing for some innocuous record. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, I don't give a damn, man. We're still in first place in the West. So it doesn't matter to me if we lose some games here and there. As long as we're not overextending ourselves, we're not getting hurt, keep your head fresh, because it only matters come playoff time. So people don't play to have the best records ever. They play to hang that banner. So as long as they keep the main thing, which I think they're doing, I think they're going to be fine.
When a team did play for the best record, what happened?
Right? Listen, the team with the best record ever has no title to show for it.
Yep. So
But that's Draymond's fault.
It don't matter. No, it's LeBron James's fault. That's what fault it is.
because he kicked him in the nuts.
LeBron James's fault for averaging a triple-double in the finals.
That was one of the best finals I've ever seen, too. Ever saw. All right, so let me bring it in.
That wasn't the best finals I've seen LeBron play.
Now you're trying to go down the whole rabbit hole.
No. He lost one, but I've never seen anybody play like that in my life. I think that was the year Kyrie.
With Kyrie and Kevin. They were all hurt.
Even though he lost, he should have been MVP.
He still should have been MVP. You're right.
He should have been MVP.
What finals you talking about against Golden State?
It was that second one with KD.
Yeah, when they lost, when Kyrie got hurt and Love got hurt, and he was unstoppable. If he would have played like that his whole career, just bully ball and go to the rack. Man.
Let me say this: if what's his name hadn't came out of and throwing the ball instead of just went right up, the whole series would have changed. That game one, they had game 1-1, and he gets the rebound.
Oh, J.R. Smith.
Yeah, and he walks this way.
The timeout.
That was one of the most egregious games. I felt bad for. I'm not even a LeBron fan. I felt bad for him at that exact moment. I was like, dude, that was the series right there. Series. So that brings me up to my next point, man. I want to ask you, man. John Morant ended up getting hurt over the weekend. He's out 3 weeks with UCL sprain. When John Morant got hurt, I was like, okay, is he really, really hurt? Or is this a thing that they're going to try to, say that he out because they're trying to trade him too? So what you think about this, D? You think, will John Morant be traded? Because I'm feeling like he might be traded.
I can't see him go nowhere but Minnesota. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's a good landing spot for John Morant. It's got to be him and Ant Edwards. I think it'd be a dope backcourt. Maybe Miami could use a point guard. But that's about it. I don't know where else he would go. I know they're trying to trade Jackson to the Pistons. I keep hearing that. But it's been time for Ja to get out of Memphis, man. It's not going good.
Yeah, it's going really, really bad. But that brings me again to the point of will Ja be traded? That's why I wanted to ask you guys. Jay, what you think?
I don't think they have a choice but to move Ja at this point, man. Like it's one thing if he's playing well for you and producing, and the off the court stuff is interfering, keeping him unavailable. It's another thing when you got the off the court stuff and the on the court stuff. I mean, like this dude threatening to fight teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they about to put paws on each other, and their teammates. So that spills over onto the court. Like if dudes just generally don't like each other, like that's bad for winning. That's bad for chemistry, and it's just trying to get him out of there, man. I mean, for better or for worse, you got to give him up.
I 100% agree. All right, so this brings me to my last point. Look at the time. This story I saw, I'm not gonna lie, I was baffled. I was baffled. Here's the story, Jay. D, are you ready for this? Shedeur Sanders got announced being added to the Pro Bowl. I still am shocked. What's your take on it? Like, Shedeur Sanders is not good enough to be starting. He's not good enough, but he got named to the Pro Bowl. I'm still. I don't know, D. Talk to me. What's your thoughts?
Well, I think two Pro Bowlers are out. That's probably Bo
Drake
Nick
is out.
Yep.
and Drake. You got Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if he's in it.
He probably just said no.
But I'm saying, who else is in the Pro Bowl?
You know what? Let me look that up.
Because maybe they just kept going down the list and was like, well, it can't be
Right.
Geno.
Right.
Mahomes probably was like, hell no.
Right. Well, he's rehabbing. He's blowing his knee out.
So Herbert probably already there. I'm gonna say it's gotta be Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, and the Bengals. What's
My
his name?
point. My point to even bring this up is you got the top 8 teams, right? The top 2 are not gonna bring the, but you got 6 other people in there. The Browns ain't even in the top, top half of the league. You know what I mean? So why are they going to the Browns to get Shedeur Sanders? You know what my theory is because Shedeur Sanders sells a lot of jerseys.
He sells tickets and he sells jerseys.
I think it's only another 3 that's available, and 2 of them probably was like for what?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because this is
the 3 quarterbacks from the AFC named were Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Drake May. Well, we know Drake can't play. So Drake is out. So Shedeur is in. So my guess is they probably called Trevor. They probably called Burrow.
Rodgers.
Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers. And they were like, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to play, in those games. I mean,
it's not about playing in the games, though. You guys are both missing this whole point. When you get named to the Pro Bowl roster and you show up, you get paid. You get money. And I'm not going to talk about money for that. It's money that's embedded in your contract because you got named as on the Pro Bowl roster.
Yeah,
so
Frank, what you're missing is that they weren't named. The people who were named were Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Drake May. They were named, right? So anybody after that, if they call you, that means you got to play because you are a replacement for a person that's already not playing. So if you don't want to play, they can be like, you know what? No, I'm good.
No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, as a person, let's say you're Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I'm sure 100% has a stipulation in his contract that states if you make it to the Pro Bowl, you get this amount of money. If you get MVP nomination, you get this amount of money. And if you win the MVP, you get this amount of money. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So
Josh Allen make $55 million a year, bro.
But he's named. They named him. He's getting his money.
He was named to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Trevor makes $50 million a year.
I'm saying the players above him who came in, who could have been picked before him and named to the Pro Bowl, and why would you turn this down? Because it's a perk for your contract. That's what I'm saying.
But Trevor makes $50 million a year too.
Why wasn't Trevor Lawrence?
Because Trevor made $50 million. He was like, I don't want to go out there, man. I'm good.
Okay.
I live in Duval.
All right.
Whoa, then you should have went. I've been to they still got Jerry Curls out there.
Ain't no Jerry Curls in Duval.
I wanted to bring it up because the simple fact, man, that
Atlanta, maybe.
I was like, why is this man being called? I was like, he's being called just to sell because they're trying to sell jerseys. I couldn't believe that. But
no question about that. Plus, he's young enough, to want to go and put on a good show.
Yeah, and he probably excited about going too. So
absolutely,
I thought it was crazy. All right, so we can roll up out of here. I got to definitely go lay down. I can't tell y'all how hard my back hurts. And y'all know from shoveling.
Listen, I've been shoveling all day today, Frank. I dug out 3 houses.
Well, you ain't gonna believe this, but me and my friends, my sister started a shoveling business. We did 14 houses yesterday.
Oh, hell no.
And we did 5 cars today and 4 more houses today.
Y'all don't have snow blowers?
But yeah, we had a snowblower. That's how we were able to do so many. We had snowblower, but we still, one guy's with the snowblower and the other 2 are shoveling. So we shoveled and shoveled and shoveled and shoveled.
I don't have a snowblower. It don't snow enough in New York City to justify that.
Yeah.
My bad.
We got snowblower.
No justification, D.
We used it, but my back's still killing me. So I'm about to be out of here. The name of the show is called Box Seats. D Jones, to everybody out there, how they can follow you, bro.
313 D Jones, and I'll be at the Super Bowl watching the Patriots.
You gonna be at the Super Bowl?
In my mind.
Okay. Okay. I wish you were that one because I'm about to say them tickets are seriously expensive. Seriously. Seriously, Jay, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, filmmaker Jay.
Hey, follow me with D Jones as we transport ourselves to Santa Clara. we gonna get that D. I've never been to a Super Bowl game before.
I was in Vegas for that Super Bowl, but I was working.
Oh damn!
All right. So the name of the show is
I've
called
never
Fox
been.
Speaks. Tomorrow's show, we got to talk about more about the Super Bowl. We got, of course, everybody's going to be beating us down. We got to talk about some of these other news stories that are popping up. I haven't even gotten to half of them that I had for today. But anyway, we're going to talk about them tomorrow. The name of the show is called Box Seats. We'll be back on at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all.
Hey, what you need, yeah? Man, I got it, wow. What you say, hey? We about it,
All right, y'all. I'm out of here.